Hey everybody, welcome back to another day on the markets. We're going to have a bit of fun here. Trump continuing to push major milestones. OMG. It's amazing the difference between having Biden, who was asleep half the time and drugged up probably the other half the time, and Trump that's just working more harder than a 25-year-old on their first job. I mean, the guy's just apparently doesn't sleep many hours and just goes every day, every day. Crazy work ethic. So doing a great job there. Rescued some prisoners from Russia and leading the free world to freedom, security, and prosperity. So it's really exciting to see that. We're going to get into a lot of that today. So kind of cool. Let's get into a lot of the comments. We've got Darren Riley announced their quarter live one at last. What do you say? Keep up the good work, mate. You've kept us all sane through the tough times of holding on. Let's hope we see some returns soon. All the best, your friends from the UK. A big shout out there, Darren. Appreciate that. And big shout out here in the UK. Speaking of UK, reform is pretty much starting to dominate in the charts, even not just against the Conservatives, but against Labour as well. My only problem is I think reform's clearly heading to the front of the line in terms of political parties, but I just fear that so much damage is going to be done over the next 4 years before they even get into power that I don't know, it's going to be carnage. Anyway, let's hope for the best. That's all you can do, isn't it? All you can do. It is heading in the right direction. At least there is one option for hope. We don't have that in New Zealand. We don't have any hopeful options. They're all a bit weak. Probably the closest is New Zealand first, but they really haven't delivered as much as we would hope they would. But we'll see. We'll see where it heads at the moment. Let's get into the markets. We're going to try and show the stock market. We did have the inflation data come out overnight, so that's pretty important. So let's have a look at that. Bam. Let's see here. Let's add that in. Cool. All right. So S&P 500 ends lower as hot inflation data blunt rate cut hopes. Now we're already expecting not only one rate cut this year. Dow Jones is down 0.5%, 225 points to 44,368. We've had a pretty good week though. Monday, Tuesday. This is Wednesday's data. Saturday, S&P 500 is down 0.25%. They're at 61 points to 6,051. Nasdaq is pretty much flat, which is a good sign. The Nasdaq there with all the tech companies up 6 points. 19,649. But we have had a pretty good week. If we go to the week calendar there, we have had a pretty good week. Overall, we had a really good, coming up here? Yeah, we had not too bad Tuesday, did we? I don't know what it was for the Dow Jones. I think it was a bit better. Yeah, Dow Jones, not too bad at the moment. So fingers crossed. But we did have the inflation data out. And we had the consumer prices rose by more than expected in January, pointing to lingering inflationary pressures to point the Federal Reserve to think carefully before potential interest rate reductions there. So that's definitely been a point. Headline consumer prices increased by 3% in the 12 months to January, above expectations that the reading would match December's pace of 2.9%. Now, I know there's only a little bit of difference there, but typically markets like unders rather than overs. Month on month, the gauge unexpectedly accelerated 0.5%, up from 0.4% in the prior month, faster than economics expectations of 0.3%. So it's got a bit of a bigger gap there. The core measure, which excludes volatile elements like food and energy, also rose more than expected. And this is typically the one that you're really wanting to go down, climbing 0.4% on the month and 3.3% on the year, above the expected 0.3% and 3.1%. So you can sort of see the annual number there, 3.3 versus 3.1. So there's a decent little separation there. Of course, a little bit of concern. Macquarie said that the surprise in inflation further reinforces this call for a long pause on the Fed rate cuts in 2025. Remember, we were holding on for one this year. Now, obviously, Trump's just got into power, just starting to ramp things up and shake things up a bit. So it will take a little while for that to play out. But as I said to you, if the Dodge can cut $1 trillion and the economy can grow by $1 trillion, then you're dampening out those inflationary impacts. And if you focus on increasing the amount of energy and lowering the prices, then you're going to start lowering that inflation too. So they were working on all the right things. So that's the good news from the inflation point of view. Inflation has slowed steadily since the post-pandemic surge, but Fed Chair Jerome Powell told the Senate Banking Committee on Tuesday that the central bank was in no hurry to cut interest rates, given that it had already trimmed rates by 1% in 2024 and that the economy may remain strong. In his second day of testimony before Congress, Powell said that the Fed wants to keep monetary policy restrictive for now, noting that while inflation is closing on the US central bank's 2% target, it isn't there yet. So you're talking about 3.3 on the core, and so you're after that 2% target. Now, I believe that they should have a range. Like New Zealand, we have a range. So if you're wondering where the 2% target came, New Zealand was the one that came up that 2% target originally, but New Zealand actually shifted into a range of 1 to 3%, and I think that's far more pragmatic. We had a central bank here that was very aggressive with interest rate cuts and ended up putting us into negative GDP growth. So we're in a bit of trouble here. That is, they just get too aggressive. But we do have a 1 to 3 point range, and we are back into that at the moment. So it's possibly something that the US could look at. This would probably have to go through Congress, if I remember rightly. So if they're going to change the Federal Reserve targets there. So that's pretty much it at the moment on the stock market. So not bad, not bad. Actually, let's have a go. Oh, so I was going to have a look at gold, because gold's obviously had record highs, but I've missed that, so I might talk about that tomorrow. Who else is in the house? We've got Joey in the house there. Hi, all. Good to see you, Joey. Welcome to the chat. And you're getting the chat there, folks. Get it lively. We've got Bitcoin at the moment. Bounce back. Wow. So yesterday I did say, as long as it's above 92K, we're probably okay. And ideally, we want to get back over 100K. But at the moment, 97, almost $98,000, up 2.36%. The Bitcoin dominance, very interesting enough, is down at 58.69. So, yeah, remember, I repeat this a couple of times, but the last, bull market, 21, the dominance was up towards 70%. This time, I don't think we're going to get much past 60, just because of the structural changes and maturity of the stock market blockchain technology. Since that time, we have got millions of tokens now. We got a very mature market with bridges and DEXs and lots of other things. So, and we've got all these institutional lending now and sovereign states coming in. So it's very different now. So we got Ethereum there at the moment, up 6% at $2,751. BNB up 9.5% at $702. So really nice markets today for crypto. So stock market not so hot. Crypto doing really well and reacting to positive news probably from the US with a lot of the stuff that Trump's doing, particularly around the Russia-Ukraine, having meetings with President Putin and Zelensky, and having constructive, positive outcomes from that so far in the early stages of discussion. And also prisoners coming back from Russia, another prisoner coming back today, a crypto guy coming back today. So that's good news as well. Solana there is pretty flat, 197. ADA is up 2.33% at 78 cents. XRP up 2.6%, $2.47. Tron there up 0.75% at 24 cents, and Litecoin as well up 2.6%. So across the board, those leaders all pretty green today. Particularly Ethereum, they're up 6%. So nice little bounce back there. I tell people don't be worried about Ethereum. It's going to have its day in the sun. I know that from a market point of view, second layer protocols have been eating Ethereum's lunch, and Vitalik really might be a great technologist, but not a great economist, so to speak, in terms of the value for underlying ETH users, but good for the market, for the retail, with the EVM chains. But like I say, institutional money is going to come into Ethereum, and of course, the second layers still have to batch up all their transactions on Ethereum. So I think it's still going to have its heyday in the sun there. May cap out a little bit where it could go, but definitely we've still probably got 10 to 15K on the board there for Ethereum. And of course, if Bitcoin decides to start rallying at $250,000 at the top of the cycle, we could easily see Ethereum up in those numbers. So that's kind of where we are there at the moment. Looking at Bitcoin, just this is where we're sort of on the hourly chart on Coinbase for Bitcoin. We were sending down here. We got all the way pushed down to 94,800. We had a little bit of sideways action, went all the way down to 94K, and since then we have been rallying, which is probably on the back of that Russian news. I'm not aware of any other news that would drive that. So there we are, back at 98K there on that positive news. So that is looking pretty good. Let's go to the daily on Bitcoin. Check that out. Let's reset this chart. Bam. And yeah, look at that. I mean, we're just ticking away there. Let me just get rid of that one. Yeah, just moving sideways at the moment, aren't we? And we're just below the 50-day moving average of 98,270. And we've still got this 200-day moving average of 84,283 right at the top there. So still looking really good is the old Bitcoin getting ready, I think, for the wind up for that next move. Now, typically, as we know, February is a green month. We've been about negative 6-7%. We're probably a bit better than that today with this little rebound. And we've still got plenty of time in February to get that green month that we normally have. I mean, we've only had 2 red months performances for Bitcoin in February. So we've still got 2 weeks to go. So let's see how the second half of February holds up. Start rallying up there. Still holding on to my 150K by the end of March, beginning of April. So still holding on to that target there. And that was pretty much 830 days, 870 days since the bottom of the last cycle. So that is how we've got this number here in terms of timing. And in absolutes, 150 is kind of like a 3x, just almost a 3x of where Bitcoin was in the last bull market cycle. But then we've got a range, of course, because ranges are much better. It's quite a wide range, but we're fairly bullish about that, up to 180K. This is also the midpoint for a lot of analysts out there that think 152. So I think that's fairly good. However, pretty hyper bullish about crypto, particularly in 25. And I'm actually getting a bit more excited about 26 as well. And so, yeah, we've definitely got this number 240K still ahead of us, I think. And that's the Richard Hart number 2. And I definitely think that's plausible. We've seen some very bullish insight analysts even higher than 240. So we should see how high we go. But if we get an extended bull market into 26, that's definitely plausible. So let's see how it goes. Remember that the peak period normally only lasts for about a month or something. So just be cautious of that. And typically Ethereum rallies a little bit later for the month afterwards. So just take note. True for Pulsechain too. But although I think Pulsechain is going to have a different journey because there's so many more mechanisms to move this market for Pulsechain this time that is open to Richard Hart. Plus, of course, the court case waiting for that outcome as well. So that leads us into Pulsechain. We got any more comments in chat? No more comments in chat there. Get in the chat there. Get lively. Now we've had Richard Hart here and his team have cut the INC inflation by 20x, which has made INC rally big time, and that's been pretty exciting, right? So that was from the 11th. Now, Rackham Rochelle, the largest Pulsechain Pulsex sacrificer, has been really bullish about INC as well, particularly now that inflation's capped. So he's been pretty excited about that. You can see, come on, INC, let's go. So it's the 11th of February. And he's got you serious. It's called INC, and I will get the chart let this chart speak for itself. 90% inflation reduction in the last 24 hours, twice as any. Ask any Pulsechain member what is going down as we speak. So very excited about that on the 11th. But of course, it's now 20x to cut inflation. So that's pretty cool. He's also got this post on the 12th, revised INC prediction. This is from Rackham Rochelle. Due to changing market conditions in this instance and inflation reduction that occurred twice for a total of 20x cut inflation for INC, I propose a $200 INC token valuation is viable in 2025. So let's say it again, $200 INC token valuation is viable in 2025. So that's Rackham Rochelle. He's a VC, a venture capitalist, and of course the number one sacrificer of Pulsechain, Pulsex, and also probably had a bit of a consortium in that too. And I think part of that consortium may have sold out earlier over the last sort of 2 years almost. So that is from Rackham Rochelle. That's his price target. Everyone likes price targets. Might as well get the big whales price target out of the way. Now looking at the results for day 642, we've got Pulse at the moment at quadruple 0584. There's now 58% of the mean sacrifice price. It's slowly sneaking up again, 5.6%. We got Pulsex there at quadruple 0507, up 11%, sitting at 51% of the mean sacrifice price. So that's sneaking up too. The thing I want to say also is the ratio to Pulse is sneaking up. So we're at 0.87 Pulse now for Pulsex. That's a really interesting move. And the other thing is that once this gets up towards the sacrifice price, we could see the Pulsechain run away very quickly. So I just want to put that out there. Once we see that bursting that mean sacrifice price, we've had plenty of time, what is it, a year and 3/4? How many days? 642 days. I just have a feeling that once we get there, it's going to run away. So people will be left behind. There will be profit-taking periods, of course, but once that mean sacrifice price really gets, it's going to be unleashed. Obviously, getting the court case out of the way is going to be very important too. But yeah, at the moment, we're seeing a little sneak up here of the chain, and we've already seen Richard Hart turn on 2 different pumpermentals, pump.tires, and also the INC inflation reduction 20x. So things are starting to happen there. Previously, we had seen the trifecta stablecoin as well be put on PulseX. So, you know, little by little, things are happening here in front of everybody. Now, the buy and burn at the moment, 1,264 billion. TitanX, PulseX is being bought up and burned. That's 6.35% of the supply. INC is at $3.90, up 9.7%. And the ratio there, 66,774 pulse. Unbelievable. We're only down in the 30s, not only a week ago. And here we are. Things turn around fast in crypto sometimes, don't they? Now the supply, circa 55 million, but that thing never seems to change. Hex there is at 2.03 cents. Probably going to be very slow now. The inflation's cut down, right? 20x. Hex is now at 2 cents and up 6.6%. EHEX is at 41/100 of a penny. EHEX seems to have a lot of upside to me, especially with most of the bank EX out. So yeah, I don't know if there's much left. There was only 200 million, if I remember rightly, and I think that price will. I think it's still up at 7,500 of a penny, somewhere like that. But you have to double check. It was a while ago we looked at that. Combined price of EHEX and PX at 2.43 cents. So what a nice rebound that's been. And so, yeah, that's going to be huge. So, hey, look, the future for these prices are massive. Hex easily can do multiple dollars in value. So keep a lookout for that. And, of course, it's going to be fun to see it. Let's go to the gas prices and have a look at that. We're sitting at 1.5 million beats, so not too dissimilar to yesterday. 95 times GBP and Ethereum. Ethereum Gwei has gone up to 3 Gwei. Yesterday it was 1 Gwei. Validators, 46,131. We've seen an increase in validators as Pulsechain is looking a bit more valuable. And, you know, we're not at the highs, of course. Highs were up at like 52,700. But we may get that, especially as value. Pulsechain becomes more valuable. People will pay more money to get more Pulse if they haven't got it already, and start validating. And people that have Pulse may start validating as well. So let's see how that goes. The bridge finally, where are we up to on the bridge? 130. So nice. We're up. I think we're at 127.9. So that's 2.6 million increase in the bridge since yesterday. That's really cool to see. Obviously, EHEX is going up in value, and it's actually crossed over DAI. Can you believe it? That's really interesting. So EHEX has passed DAI, 34.4 million, and DAI there is sitting at 32. That's pretty interesting. So DAI, it looks pretty similar to the last couple of days, but EHEX there going up in value. How about that? That's a little signal, isn't it? Ethereum, obviously, a rebound today. Bitcoin rebound today. And yeah, I haven't been tracking the other stables, the native ones here. But definitely EHEX up there. Now, I would like to mention that Coast is now $8 million. So I know their original target was 50 million, but 8 million is, you know, not bad. They've just been slowly clawing up there, and I'm sure that as Pulsechain rallies, that money will go up pretty big order there. So that is Pulsechain. Let's have a look at the volumes. $48.3 million in the last 24 hours on Pulsechain. So that's pretty steady, not as high as yesterday, but still a good number. And the transactions, 332,000 today. Looking at some of the top performers, we've got Pi Network. Now, Pi Network, I don't know if they're launched. I don't think they're launched yet because I think they've done an extended period for the Pi Network. So if you're on Pi Network, that's basically where you're mining on your phone. You're able to claim. I think they've extended that claim. So that's going to be launching. I'm not sure if that's actually launched, whether someone's just front running this on the old Pulsechain here and putting up a duplicate. Probably is the case. But that's up 12.5% there at the moment, 11 hours. Ring, we've got lots of these short ones. So a lot of these short ones are from Pump.tires, the Richard Hart meme platform. Let's have a look else we got here. Grabby, 3 months around, that's up 60%. I'm not actually sure. Does it have anything with that one? Just got a Telegram, but that is up today. Finvesta is up 38%. It's been around for a year. So that's up 38%. Let's have a quick look at that. I've got a website. Yeah, so let's have a look on that one. Finvesta. Let's see. Probably a long time ago we looked at this. 4% burn tax, 1% Finvesta reflections goes back to holders. Deflationary designed, exposed to PRC 20 wave theory systems. So that is that one. Let's have a look at the DAP quickly. So they got farms and staking farms there. It's all taking a while for the snake to go. They got farms TVL there, staking, and homepage 3% buy sell tax transfer. What else? It looks like maybe you get dumped some PRC20s there from those fees there. Anyway, that is up pretty powerfully today. Is up to $11. Even got a bit higher than that, $11.60. So nice little move there from Finvestor. Pretty nice looking chart actually now that you've had that big boom, but it was looking all right before that. So there we go. Let's have a quick look at some of these others. BFF up 21%. Hex, of course, leading the way, up 1.2 cents there. That is the copy. This is 10 days ago. This was on pump.tires. What else we got here? BFF 1 year ago. Yeah, we talked about 20%, up 20% there. What else are we looking at here? Mike Monsters there. You earn Ink token with Mike, right? So that is 11 months ago. That's up 15% still at 1 cent now. Is that the first time it's been a 1 cent? That is looking pretty good though. It's not. That's the Mike there. Up 1% there. Not bad, not bad. So yeah, not quite all-time highs, but certainly looking pretty powerful there with the INC. Now, if imagine if INC goes to $200, man, Mike could really be worth well a lot as well. What's INC? $4. So yeah, that's what the 100x there. No, $4, 50x. So it could get the 50 cents minimum, is it? Maybe a leverage play. So maybe $1, 50 cents to $1. So maybe there's a 50 to 100x here in the old Mikey. If maybe more if there's if INC does get to $200. Incognito as well was another one, right? You get INC with that too, so that's up 11.7%. So I see a lot of INC related tokens that pay you an INC are doing pretty well. So Incognito up 11.7% there. Pulsechain obviously up as well. That's INC as well. So INC tokens are really on the move at the moment. PTC the Greys still sitting around there, around 10%, and INC up 10% today. Not bad. Teddy Bears from James Maria is up as well, up 10%. Of course, Moon King loves this one. Who else is out there? We've got PDI making a bit of a move, up 9% at 1.1 cents. So the PDI maker theory is still sitting out there, waiting for its day in the sun, but still holding up at 1.1 cents. So we've got some good moves going on there on the old Pulsechain. Now, as you guys know, we want to talk about stablecoins. I think I've got the watch list, haven't I? No, I've got DEXs here. DEXs. So DEXs at the moment, we've got 9-inch, 9mm, and they're up modestly, 4%, 2%. So they're obviously not in the main view at the moment. They probably will have their day in the sun as the value gets more expensive on Pulsechain. They should be, they're probably very likely rally as we normally see in bull markets, the DEXs. But as I say, PUSD Algo is coming, and this thing here could be huge. We're waiting for the Signum Oracle. It's going to be the first Oracle on Pulsechain the week of the 17th. So next week, we could see the Signum Oracle launch, all things going well, and that'd be huge. Now, I haven't been checking recently the Telegram, but I'm pretty sure that's still the time frame that they're going for. Just have a quick look here. Yeah, I don't think there's any change to that. So that is where we're up to. Next week, we could see the Signum Oracle launching on Pulsechain, the first one. And of course, Liquid Loans failed to deliver that, but Signum, it looks like they're going to try and get that up and running next week with reporters. So I'm not sure how long it's going to take to sort of mature. Will it take 3 to 6 weeks for reporters to climb on board? Will it be operational within a week? Like in terms of having enough reporters. Obviously, the mechanism itself could very well work the first day, is what you'd expect to see. And so that's really important. Now, Jacob, of course, with PUSD Algo is going to give us his updated plans. Once the Signum Oracle is running as expected, they have to use obviously price calls and other things like RNG generators and things like that, possibly for their X system. So PUSD Algo coming. The other thing is, of course, we need a full DeFi, secure stablecoin that's pegged to $1 as much as possible relative to the other native stablecoins. And therefore you have no bridge keys, worries, and stuff like that, right? So that's very important. So this could really offer a major solution for our stablecoin. Also solve the famous stablecoin trilemma. Obviously, the scalability is not really solved by the other native coins. and so this could be huge for that. And so we're looking forward to PUSD Algo coming. Also massive earnings, and very good chance it'll be integrated into the rest of Jacob's ecosystem, perhaps into Mafia. So we'll see. But at the moment, you can get a 90% referral bonus for that. So definitely check that out. The link's in the video description. I have got a whole series of videos with Jacob, so you can check that out on the channel. Just type in PUSD Algo into Hex Token. You'll be able to find those videos. And then, of course, if you want to participate, you can get a 90% bonus straight off the bat using the link in the video description. Just connect your wallet and send your contribution or sacrifice to this wallet here. Now, remember, this is not like normal sacrifice / contributions. 50 to 75% of the capital raised is going into the protocol day one. And remember, this is going to have a V3 DEX as well, and it's been signaled indirectly that this is going to be expanded into a full V3 DEX offering, and therefore compete with the 9mm and 9-inch, and arguably do extremely well. So looking very excited about that. So multi-prong thing there. Obviously, we're going to talk about Mafia next, but that is pretty exciting. Now, if you do about $840 and you get a referral bonus of 90%, that will get to 1,000. And if you get to 1,000 inclusive of that referral bonus, that will get you to the second bonus called Bonus X. And that is a random number between 1.01 and 2x times your sacrifice. So that could be massive upside for you. So definitely check that out on PUSD Algo. So yeah, next week, man, getting closer and closer to getting an update for the PUSD Algo roadmap. That brings us to another Jacob's projects, which is the Mafia. As you guys know, I'm the consigliere for the Directorate, the most powerful, most feared allegiance in the Mafia game. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. There's obviously a lot of changes going on. Now, I just wanted to have a quick overview of Mafia at the moment. Before we do that, though, let's say hello to Brian is in the chat there. What's up, folks? Good to see you, Brian. And Hedgehog as well. Woohoo! Good to see you, as always. Brian, of course, our community leader in the house. So yeah, Mafia at the moment on Pulsechain, number one GameFi, and number one, well, the only metaverse on Pulsechain, and of course also playing on BNB, and also the biggest NFT marketplace on Pulsechain. And once the PUSD Algo comes along, could easily be the biggest DeFi as well. So you integrate all those, it makes it the biggest ecosystem on Pulsechain with a very highly engaged audience. So it's going to be pretty amazing to see that. Marketing is coming up, communications coming up, lots of things coming up for the old Mafia game. Excited to where this is all going to head. Now, there's 1,153 players on Mafia at the moment, 28 crime families, and the vault's got 7.87 billion pulse. So that would make it equivalent into the top 200 pulse chain sacrifices. In fact, it's going up all the time, climbing that leaderboard. So that's pretty awesome. And yeah, available tiles 0 at the moment, 0 tiles. So it's the land, the metaverse has been sold out. So it's pretty exciting. Now we see the families and players at the moment. We've got the Gearheads at number 1, run by Giffordware. We've got number 2 is the Accuser. This is a Directorate family, right? So the Directorate, that's part of what I am part of. And we got the Salamancas as part of, they've got an allegiance with the Gears of War. So the Salamancas and the Gearheads have an allegiance here. Going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Hustlers is obviously in the Directorate. The High Table is in the Directorate, and they are all related to the Yakuza. So those three have already got all the paid spots. So the only one that hasn't got the paid spot at the moment is the Gearheads at the top, but that's just probably a matter of a function of time and members. But that access vault there is suspended. At the moment, Yakuza in the Directorate is at number 1 there with 30% of the payout. Salamanca's number 2, the Hustlers at number 3, and the High Table at number 5 with 15% of the payout. So they have the Directorate has 3 out of the 4 top spots there. Now the 5th spot at the moment is down here with James Bond in the Agency of War. And of course, they're sitting here, but I'm not going to hold on to that long. I bet your bottom dollar that's going to move to one of these families in the top here, like the Gearheads. So there we go. We'll see. We'll be looking out for that. Now, there are 3 conditional spots in this orange. And of course, those are sitting down low at the families at the moment. They're going to shift up. So these families at the top here will definitely take those. And of course, the syndicate there sitting there at the moment is at number 7. So keep a lookout for number 6 with the Mugnails, the syndicate, and the agency. These families are going to move around. You watch it very soon. So very cool. Big shout out to the Don of Dons out there as well. I'm not sure if it's formally announced yet, but we'll do a formal announcement on that once I've had awareness. So let's get into the maps. Obviously, the maps are all sold out. The metaverse on Pulsechain doing pretty awesome here on Pulsechain there. You can see all the red tiles There's nothing available. The only way you can get tiles is by going to the marketplace and buying on the secondary market. That's the only way you can get land tiles. So that's very important. Now, some of the other things that we're waiting for is the exchange. We're going to have a look at the exchange first for the price. At the moment, we can see the price is 40. The ratio is 40 to 1. So definitely there's been a decrease in the value of the in-game currency. That has been in place at the moment. You can see the sort of downtrend there. So it's a time, if you want to get in-game currency, it's a good time to get it, pick it up for cheaper. What else are we seeing here? The marketplace for the NFT marketplace doing extremely well. I think what's the US price? $337,000 traded so far on this, and the game hasn't even launched yet. So that's pretty amazing. All right, so that's it. Let's go to the Wikipedia though. And let's go to the vault first and see how big the vault is. $456,000. This is going to probably be the first $1 million GameFi on Pulsechain. We're hitting up there very nicely. All we need is a 2x, and we're getting pretty close. Yeah, this is going to be pretty exciting. I would not be surprised if Mafia Games ends up being a multi-million-dollar project over time with all the tokenomics and other integrated tokenomics and DeFi that's coming. So let's have a look at the Wikipedia. So the Wikipedia here has the stages. So we've got open for business at the moment. We already finished stage 1, gambling business. They're all live, so you can play roulette and slots at the moment. So you can just have to go over to businesses and you can click on casinos. That's easy to do. And you'll be able to play roulettes and slot machines. I do highly encourage if you do go play there, play the Yakuzas and the high table. Big support there for the Directorate family. So go play the Yakuzas and the high table there. If you're going to play over on the pulsemafia.io. All right, so that's where we are at the moment. The next stage is going to be goes live to get us the pre-ranking. So pre-ranking is coming up at step number 10 for the launch. And so we've got narcotics warehouse and booze warehouses. And so people are going to be able to upgrade there and do crimes, no doubt. So that's pretty exciting. And then we're moving on into stage 3, other businesses, bank, car crusher, lottery hall, jackpot hall. And then stage 4, gun store, hospital, bullet factory. And that's when the game is live. So that's step number 14 there coming up there. So pre-ranking is coming up very soon from the looks of it. So we're looking forward to that. This update will enable the file functionality. You're better earning a rank XP, earning cash, committing crimes, stealing cars, smuggling booze. So a lot of the activities, crimes in the game are starting up very in the next phase. So we're very close to getting some real game action here. The other thing is that that everybody starts off as a nobody, so they're going to be able to rank up here. Very important stage. So looking forward to that. All right, so that is Pulse Mafia there on a Pulsechain. Quickly on BNB, we've got 1,037 players, 23 crime families, 251 BNB, but there's still tons of land available over there, 4,152. You can still get those through the primary source. Let's quickly look at the players, though. At the moment, we've got the elite OGs there, led by Don Lucky at number 1. They have qualified for the vault, so they've got 30% of the vault payout. And number 2 is Knuckles in the Directorate. That's our family, of course. And, of course, the Mugnaus there at number 3. The Black Thistles at number 4 in the OG Alliance. And number 5 is the Yakuza in the Directorate as well. So those are the top 5. So far, the Syndicate is qualified for second place. That's our family, of course, in the Directorate. And the Black Thistles have qualified for number 3 at the moment with 20% of the payout. But we'll see some more movements in those positions as we head further there. So if you add up the 3 spots on the old Pulsechain and the 1 spot here, we're at 4 spots now for the Directorate. So 4 out of 10 spots. And let's see where that ends up by the time the game starts. They're a pretty fun place to be. All right, the maps, of course, still lots of properties available along a lot of the properties here on BNB. You can see in green tiles, those are all available. You can go and try and get those with keys. Got to get some keys to do that. Now, the businesses operating course over here as well. Pretty similar idea as on Pulsechain. You can place bets over here with BNB, etc. So it's kind of cool. What else we got going? The exchange, the prices are a little bit different over here. We had 40 ratio on Pulsechain. Well, the ratio here is 7 to 1. So the ratio is a lot higher over here. But I would say momentum, at least turnover, is lower over on BNB as well. But that may not be the case for long. So just take that into account. What else we got going? Let's have a look at the vaults. So obviously it's got a very similar launch phase to Pulsechain. At the moment, there's 251.76 BNB at the moment. 175,000 US dollars. So, you know, I mean, the game's getting bigger and bigger. We add that to the Pulsechain balance. We're at 650K or something like that. It is heading up and away, the vault balance there. So combined, we could get to 1 million very, very quickly. We only need like a 40% gain or something across the board. So very excited to see that. All right. And also there's the marketing DAOs up and around. So that's going to be very interesting going forward. And the Game Wiki, obviously, is pretty similar to the old Pulsechain one. So they're both following the same course there. So that is pretty much it over there on that. So PUSD Algo coming, get a 90% bonus for that. I think it's going to be one of the dominant DEXs as well as stablecoins and income earning potentials, also solving a scalability problem of the stablecoin trilemma on Pulsechain. And that's going to be an added utility to the whole Pulsechain and make it grow. You know, Richard Hart's doing some amazing things, but, you know, all the other developers are very critical as well. And I think Jacob is one of the most pivotal ones on there, creating real value and pushing DeFi and GameFi. So very excited to see where that heads there. Just got to be patient with timing. That's the only thing I would say there. All right, so let's go to next topic, which is TitanX. TitanX at the moment having a nice rebound. Yesterday we had a bit of a pullback, right? We were kind of in a sideways channel, but today we're up green, 9.6% on TitanX. So let's have a look at the ratio. You guys know, if you've been following this channel, we've been following the ratio to TitanX to Ethereum. At the moment, the US dollar price there has bounced back. So this is a weekly chart here. You can see we had a green week last week, red this week, but, you know, we might end up with a green week this week. We're on not doing too badly. Let's go to the daily, though. Daily there, we had a couple of days rally, a couple of days retrace. And so instead of breaking up to the upside for a third wave, we've kind of got the sideways channel. We've got a nice bounce back at the moment, 6 zeros, 3,000 to 6 zeros, 3,400. So let's see how we go for the next couple of days into the weekend. As well, we've got Ouroboros launching. So we're going to talk about that, the big lending platform for TitanX. That's about a day away. We're going to check that out. Let's look at the ETH ratio there. That's probably more important. And we've seen that ETH, it's actually held up really well, especially when ETH collapsed from 3,400 down to 2,150 the other day, you know, a week or so ago. It managed to defend the line and didn't really move. I found that a very bullish signal. And then we had a rally after that, which is not bad, 9,01600. We came back down, though, retrace, we broke. I was hoping to bounce off 1,300. We didn't do that, but we have bounced so far off 1,100. And there's a lot of resistance there, so that perhaps that comes our support now. And at the moment, we're back up at 1248 with a high today so far of 1340. So we're getting back up to that line that I wanted to defend. So let's see how we go. We've certainly still got a higher low, though, 1100. Our previous low was 10 zeros, 9,100 or 9,200 there. So we definitely got a higher low in place. Just got to maintain that uptrend now and start zigzagging our way back up into the third wave, which is what everyone looks for, right? Third wave very likely to be much more powerful than the first wave that we had, which was a 10x. So fingers crossed there. Now we're here to have what's some of the catalysts for that. Obviously, we've got all the buy and burns operating all the time. And of course, some of them have actually been turned off. So they're going to be turned on. When they turned on, that's going to be pretty amazing. X28 has gone omni-chain. So that's really, really important. Now, X28, of course, had its own little ratio to TitanX. So TitanX and X21 are 1-for-1 through the transform, but in the market, they can separate in value. And what have we seen with the ratio of the TitanX? We've seen some dramatic behavior. Look at that. We saw this. We were sitting at 1.01, and when we slowly capitulated down to 98 cents, 0.98. So one X28 was worth 0.98 TitanX, and then we had this big sell-off yesterday. Now, presumably it was for Ouroboros, but it could equally have been for Pulsechain. People are going to be, selling back out and to go to Pulsechain. We saw, a whale or two go do that because there are shared investors in TitanX and Pulsechain, right? And we've got the ratio was 0.9 at the bottom, but it's bounced back to 0.9447. So we're getting some really interesting behavior here. Now, if we want to see the TitanX, the X28 mechanism really work, we really do need to see it probably about 1.02, 1.03 before people start cycling through. Yeah, that's going to be interesting, and maybe that gets turned on through the Genesis waltz or something. We'll see how that plays out. There's a couple of ways that could play. Now, Shogun is up at the moment 7%, 7.7% there. And we've been watching that as well. So Shogun, we're always looking at the ratios, right? TitanX, right? Or X28. And let's have a look at that. So we've got the daily one there. Remember, Shogun has two mechanisms. It has the LP, where it's got an 8% tax, and also has the perpetual auction. So it's got two value creators, right? So that's the thing, and it helps prevent it going too far down. As we can see in the chart, it's kind of got the sideways thing, right? It's down slightly here, but it's actually kind of like a sideways thing. And so we're going to be watching, next week or so to see how this goes. Now, Ouroboros is very important for this, so we're going to look at that when it benefits TitanX. At the moment, we're at 0017, so 17, just under 1800 of a penny at the moment. But it's really the ratio that we want to look at, right, to X28. So we're at 5,500. You can see this is even better performing than US dollar. So that is looking not too bad, but we're still kind of in the sideways channel. Once this breaks out from there, breaks 6,400, I think we're on the move, right? We're on the move there. Next target would be 7,200 and so on. So keep a lookout for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Now, obviously, X28's gone omni-chain, so Shogun should benefit from that too. The higher the value of the X28, obviously X28 is TitanX, so that all benefits as well. Now, Hyper and Hydra are going to be very bullish in the weeks ahead because the minting supply is basically out, and the Hydra buy and burn was turned off. So that gets turned back on. That's going to be huge, right? So it's very minimal at the moment. And so when I say turned off, it's very minimal. It's probably be careful my language. Very minimal at the moment. So once it gets turned on, it's pretty amazing. Now, the buy and burn value to Hyper and Hydra essentially is about 2x. So I just think that's going to do some amazing things for the chart. They're both up 17% today on their rebound, and I think we might see some pretty magical things from these. And I think it's all going to be coordinated. So I'm expecting to see the buy and burns and things operate as pretty similar together. So it could be pretty massive rebound there when it's all on the go. But maybe the performance on X28 on base chain and maybe a signal there too. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Now, the other one, of course, is I've been a big fan of is Vault. Vault, baby, Vault, baby. Vault has some incredible tokenomics. And if you're not in our strategy club, join up to our strategy club. The link's in the video description. Only $30 a month for that. And we're passing Intel in there all the time. So join up today. The link's in the description. Only $30 a month. So at the moment, this is the Vault chart. So why does it look so good at the beginning? Well, it got picked up by the wider market, which is kind of the dream of most projects. And it ended up getting like $5 million of volume. And of course, then those players that aren't TitanX people, they end up selling it down, right? That's pretty much what happens. And so what we've got now is this flat line. But because the tokenomics and the roadmap for Vault is so good, we're going to have a second day in the sun, right? So this is day one in the sun. We're going to have a second day in the sun. So keep a lookout for this breakout, because once it breaks, it's going to be fast, and people will then cry about it afterwards and go, oh, I had the opportunity to buy down here, but I didn't, kind of thing. Yeah. We saw that with DragonX ratio, right? Remember DragonX ratio, a sub 1-to-1, and then it ended up doing like a 24, 25x, just on the ratio, let alone the US dollar price, which was, must have been 50 plus. So it's crazy stuff there. So yeah. At the moment, we're sitting at 3,200th of a penny, but let's look at the ratio to TitanX. Look at this. Really starting to rally. Look at that. Whoa. Yeah. Starting to break there, breaching out this previous high of 9,500. This is a very critical junction right now, and this is looking awesome. Now, what's coming up for Vault, right? What is coming up for Vault? Well, you guys know Vault's coming up is they're going to have Thunder staking coming. That could be launched any day. That's fully audited now. And of course, that's going to help getting more supply off the market. May add extra buy pressure as well, pushing up that ratio and therefore the price. The other thing is that after that, we've got Bitcoin Genie coming. That's the frontier of DeFi 3.0. And that's in the final third order at the moment. So actually, final audits at the moment. So, it's gone to audits at the moment. Let me rephrase that. It's gone to audits at the moment. So the UI is complete. The white paper is complete. So Bitcoin Genie is coming. I think it's going to be a massive project. So looking forward to that. And number 3 is that Ouroboros is now indicated acceptance of Vault as well as a collateral stable after the initial launch. So that is coming up later. We don't know the timing exactly, but that is an extra project for free. So Vault is going to get in scarce pretty quickly. Now, how scarce is it? It's already pretty scarce because the perpetual auction is operating, and we can see that it's down 44.33% is burned, and it's now at 584,000 Vault. So that's going down all the time. It's not a lot of holders. There are no whales in Vault. So just remember that there are no whales in Vault. So yeah, it's burning about 850,000 tokens a day just through the perpetual auction. Now the Vault balance is kind of low, but there is LP wallet, which is holding about 5% of the supply or so. So that tops that Vault treasury up every so often as well. And the Vault auction gets sold out. So pretty bullish. And now we're going to have all these other utility cases plus other utility cases coming this year. Vault is going to be very in demand and therefore have its second day in the sun. So pretty excited about that. Now, let's have a quick look at some of these others. Obviously, you've got lots of double-digit gains in a lot of these at the moment. But let's go to Ouroboros. Ouroboros there, powering up. There was 7.5 cents yesterday, 9.18 cents today. And you guys know it's up 21% now. Now, the thing is, this is about to launch, right? The big utility in TitanX, the big lending stable coin. And it is a kind of a liquidity kind of project fork. But this is about to launch. And yeah, pretty excited about this. Let's have a look at the countdown. Countdown is ticking away. 19 hours to go until this launches. So USDX, people will be able to go and mint that. Once you do that, of course, it's going to have a whole UI there. It's on testing at the moment, and people are going to mint that out. So it's going to be massive for that. So this could be a huge catalyst for TitanX to get that wave 3 in play. So we'll be watching for it. You know, how many millions will go into it? That's the question. Obviously, the more the merrier. And how much supply sync will it supply sync these tokens? So what tokens it's taking day one? Well, TitanX and DragonX. So the supply of these are going to be very interesting. Keep a lookout for these yields as well. And of course, people need, if they want to go into Ouroboros, they're going to need to buy TitanX and DragonX, right? Very important. Now, the DragonX ratio at the moment is 7.1. So that's a nice, cheap DragonX ratio compared to its historically been. So we'll see how that performs with TitanX and DragonX. Fun times. Now, I won't be surprised if X28 gets pushed in there as well. That'd be interesting. Obviously, TitanX and X28 are essentially the same, but they are differentiated in the market by ratio at 0.94 at the moment. And yeah, we know that Vault is being offered by the founder of Ouroboros to come in. So that's pretty awesome. We'll see where that goes. And if Vault can go in, well, that doesn't mean that others with large volume, not low volume, but large volume projects could go in, and that could include Shogun, Hydra, Hyper, as well as non-TitanX tokens, right? A lot of the smaller tokens here probably won't make it, but definitely these other ones, the big ones here at the top, are very likely to get in there. So kind of cool. And of course, that's going to benefit Tink Farm, right? Tink Farm currently at 8 cents. Tink Farm also likely to go over to Basechain and Pulsechain. So that's going to expand as well, and that should benefit DragonX holders as well. So we're going to look out for that. At the moment, we've got Bonfire, which benefits X28. Ascendant there benefits Tink Farms, and then Uranus there. Uranus could be huge, and it's only been around for 3 days. This is the first project on Basechain, and it's got 8-day mint. I actually really like the idea of it. They're not going to have the token launch until the end of the 8-day mint phase, which means you're right there on day one ground running, and then the buy and burn is going to be pretty aggressive on Basechain. And if that gets picked up by the Basechain community, the price could run away. Now, there's no guarantee. It's speculative, but man, it could be a real winner. And so keep a lookout for that. It may be, you know, if you like a little bit of spec, could put a little bit of spec money in there. But that's 3 days away. Now, the other thing is that it can be long-term too, because it's got taxes, and therefore it has, if any turnover, it's going to be paired up with more TitanX protocols and on base, and being first mover, that could be quite a nice advantage. And so as a long-term play, also nice earnings. But hey, maybe the price runs away too if it gets picked up by the market there because of the buy and burn feature in the protocol. So definitely check out the docs, do your due diligence. But Uranus there looking pretty exciting as the first mover on the old X28 on Basechain, which is TitanX basically, isn't it? We got the real big sexies in the house there. Hey, everybody, good to see you. Welcome to the chat there. And we got Tintop as well. What's up, Mexicans? Hey, Tintop. I think I've got you on my main video on the channel. It starts off with me, I think, screaming your name out or something, which is pretty funny. I had to laugh about that. All right, so that is Uranus. But hey, look, Ouroboros is coming. Less than a day away, 19 hours. That's huge. That's the big utility. Excited about that. Bitcoin Genie's come down the line, and I'm pretty excited about Taurus as well later on, probably maybe March. We might see that. So very excited here, and the price is just starting to turn on here as well. And of course, if Ethereum runs, these are likely to run as well. And of course, we're waiting for all the buy and burns to tick on there. Yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. So that is where we're at the moment. Let us go back and wrap up the show. We're 50 minutes on the hour. Hope you guys have enjoyed it today. I just realized I didn't even have my little, what's it called? What's this thing? A stroller ticker lying on there, and banner. They call it a banner. Yeah. So if you want to get PUSD Algo, 19% on that. If you do $840 plus the 9%, you get to $1,000. $1,000 will get you the second bonus X, and that's up to 2x. It's a random number, but I wish you luck with that. And I'm excited about PUSD Algo and all its solution, and of course Gravitas will have a V3 DEX, so compete against 9mm and 9-inch. So let's see if it can get number 2 spot there as well. All right, that excludes PH Universe, excludes that project call. All right, hope you enjoyed it. Take care, everybody. I'll catch you on the next show. Don't forget, subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. And if you want to join Strategy Club, $30 a month, join up. Links in the video description. Until next time, enjoy the markets. Take care out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.